What's up, everybody? It's your favorite gal pal, Scarlett Syanide, and welcome back to another episode of Scarlett Cyanide's Sit and Sip. Today we are going to be recapping episode 3 of Drag Race Brazil Season 2 and Drag Race France All-Stars. Today I'm joined by my lovely co-host,
Jordan. I'm also here.
Jordan, I'm so glad that you could join me today for Brazil and France.
Yeah, I missed the first, but I've been watching and I'm so glad I was able to catch up this week.
And don't forget to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to join us every single week for a live watch along for Drag Race Brazil and Drag Race France All-Stars, go ahead and click that join button below. All right, y'all, let's get into these episodes. Go ahead and grab a seat and take a sip. And let's get into the episodes. First up is Drag Race Brazil, and on Brazil they were doing girl groups, a battle royale. And for the mini challenge, we got to see the girls do a reading challenge.
Very exciting.
Was so fun. What did you think about the reading challenge?
It was pretty good. It was a lopsided one where it felt like a bunch of girls got a lot of screen time because they had a good reads, and then they kind of sped through a lot of the girls. Pretty typical, but I mean, I always love a good reading challenge.
I thought that this was one of the best reading challenges in international season in a while. The winner of the reading challenge was Mellody Queen. Desiree was, trying to get that win, but ultimately Mellody Queen really gathered the girls.
Yeah.
So
she definitely got the most screen time.
Yeah.
Because she was just fully prepared for that reading challenge. It was terrific.
She just really is my favorite of the season because she won the mini challenge. She got to pick her girl group, and y'all, I love how this whole episode played out. So Mellody picked perceivably the girls with the more mild temperaments and personalities. And it was basically the running consensus of, I think, a lot of the girls that she was setting herself up to shine.
Yeah.
And that she was picking these girls because, I don't know, she didn't think that they were going to do well in the challenge or something like that.
I also took it as kind of nice, though, because it also felt like she was like, okay, these queens have been underperforming, but it seemed like a vote of confidence that they could do better. And I think it really paid off because they did so well. The audacious ones did so well.
No, that's true. She picked Poseidon Queen first, which I know gagged a lot of the girls because she had been on the bottom both of the episodes leading up to this.
Yeah.
But then she also picked queens like Bhelchi and Adora Black and Mercedez Vulcao too. And they actually haven't been doing bad. They are just not the loudest personalities in the room.
Yeah.
Because Adora just won the challenge last week.
I have noticed that tends to happen on Drag Race, regardless of the franchises. If you're not a loud, super over-the-top queen.
It did seem at first that maybe that's what Mellody was doing, but really, ultimately, what Mellody really ended up doing was avoiding big personalities that definitely got in the way of each other.
It seemed like such a gamble at the time, but boy, did it pay off. Everyone was kind of in a consensus of this is our leader and we're working together.
They approached this very ego-free. It was very collaborative. This was truly the difference between the groups working well together and not. So Mellody Queen overall ends up picking Bhelchi, Poseidon Drag, Mercedez Vulcao, and Adora Black. And they called their group the Audacious Ones.
It's really spicy. I love it.
I know, it was really spicy. And they ultimately ended up with the higher tempo song. And then we had a group of 4 who was Desiree Black, Poala Hoffmann van Cartier, Ruby Knox, and Melinda Blay. And they named their group the Sassy Sisters, which I think the Audacious Ones is definitely a much cooler name and a more real girl group name.
Yeah, Sassy Sisters sounds like an improv group, and their day one. They'll probably change it by day 3.
I really liked the layout of this episode overall. We got to see the girls have a singing lesson with Drag Queen, which was really cool.
Yeah.
She gave them really good advice on their lyrics and, you know, just helped them kind of get their song together.
That was great.
Then we saw the girls get to do their choreography. Right there, already, like right away, you could tell which group was like crumbling and which group was doing well.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the choreography, it was like night and day. And when I tell you, when Melinda was like, one of y'all girls has to catch me doing a handstand, I'm like, this is already just like a hot mess. Literally giving you team ego. She's like, I want to do this handstand, even if the girls were not into it.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. The runway category this week was Night of 1,000 Iconic Voices. And this was a really, really cool runway where they dressed up as famous Brazilian iconic singers. So first up performing was the Sassy Sisters, and they were performing the song Lipstick. Y'all, this whole performance just was a disaster. One of the biggest
really
disaster girl groups that we've maybe seen ever, or at least in a very, very long time.
It was very funny, though, to watch. I'm sorry. It was extremely funny.
No, it was really funny. I have to admit, I did rewind it and rewatched it because I could not believe what had transpired. So it starts right out the gate with poor Poala Hoffmann being Cartier completely flubbing her own lip sync.
And like immediately Greg's just like pointing at the teeth, pointing at the mouth, saying, ooh, you flubbed that girl, and I saw it.
Yeah, so that started out rough already. Then we had Desiree, and Desiree actually did do well. Yeah. But right behind her came Miss Melina, and Melina had a lot of big ideas, but as Drag Queen said, the execution was just so off. She went to go do this handstand, and whether, you know, it was Desiree that messed up, I mean, it's definitely a combo of the two.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, we all saw it. Miss Melina kicked Desiree right in the face.
Just tumbled right, bam.
Right in the face.
And Melina went down.
Oh, yeah, hard.
But Desiree tried to play it off. And that was also pretty funny, so kudos.
Desiree at least was trying to play it off. Melina it was like her soul had left her body in that moment, and she just honestly laid on the floor for a second, and then stood up and kind of pouted, and then got back into the track. It was funny, but then it was also tough. Like, I did feel for her in that moment.
I feel like if you were going to do the pouting, which is fine in you know, if you need to, do it while you were lying down. Like, get back up and get back in the show.
Yeah, that was a big mistake on her part, to not just, like, play into it. Because in a live performance, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Because she could have just laid there, and then they wouldn't have expected her to do anything. But when you stand back up, I'm expecting you to continue.
Thank goodness Ruby Knox was there. Ruby Knox was definitely the saving grace. Ruby Knox did such a good job of just making it watchable.
She actually was on beat with the song and knew her part and didn't let all the chaos that had come before her interrupt her just doing her part. And that was great.
Now, thankfully, the next group, which was the Audacious Ones, performing their song Shot, this was like literally a fully realized, polished, amazing girl group.
Yeah, good song, good performance. It felt very, like you said, polished. It felt real. I know you were saying you actually wanted to go download it, and
literally,
unfortunately, you know, it's Drag Race. They're never not going to shill their stuff. They made sure to know that we could.
Yes,
and I think that we should, because it is a really good song. It's a banger.
It is. They did such an amazing job. You could tell that they were just so cohesive as a team. And you know what I love? Mellody didn't even put herself in the middle. Adora Black was in the center of the group almost the entire time. Now, with that being said, Mellody Queen was absolutely amazing. And just hats off to every girl in the group. I mean,
oh yeah,
every single person in that group exceeded my expectations, especially Poseidon.
Oh yeah.
And Poseidon was our surprise upset winner of the week. And I honestly am excited to talk about her runway look.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm very excited to talk about her runway.
Yes. And overall, Drag Queen did let them know that she was judging these groups as groups.
Yeah.
So we have the winner. So we have the winning queen coming from the winning group, and, you know, the bottom queens are going to be in the bottom group.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about some of our favorites of this runway.
Well, I want to start right with the first one because, so when they said the category was Night of 1,000 Iconic Voices, I was like, okay, they're going to be talking about, you know, famous people, very big in Brazil, where I'm not going to have as many references. But I said, ooh, maybe they'll do Xuxa. Because
yes.
I know Xuxa's a big deal in Brazil, and I love Xuxa. Maybe they'll do Xuxa. And Poseidon Drag comes out as Xuxa.
Yes!
First, like right off the rip, we get Xuxa from Poseidon Drag. And not only that, she wins.
Yeah, this was such a redeeming episode for Poseidon. I mean, she had literally been on the bottom the first 2 episodes, and I just had to be real. She was kind of pegged as the next girl to go home for me.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her.
I'm so excited. I really hope this is like a new, kind of a fresh start for her in this season. Because I like her.
Yeah.
And also she gives me little like mini Cheryl Hole from Drag Race UK season 1. One of my favorite looks on the runway was Miss Adora Black. No surprise, because she gave one of my favorite Brazilian icons, Pablo Vittar.
Oh, that look was gorgeous.
Yeah. And Pablo Vittar is literally just such an ultimate drag legend icon. Pablo Vittar technically has more followers worldwide, like on social media and everything, than RuPaul.
Wow.
I also really loved Melina's look, which was the star look. So even though Melina, she ended up in the bottom.
Yeah.
This star look was amazing.
Yeah, and one of the judges, now we again didn't know this reference point straight off.
And then I know one that we both loved was Ruby Knox's look, who gave a fabulous Carmen Miranda, which we needed because girls in a previous season kind of, messed that up.
She had kind of alluded to Carmen Miranda's being a bit cursed, and her trying to break that. I think she did a fabulous job. She looked so good.
When it came down to the bottom 2 queens, it did come down to Paula Hoffmann being Cartier.
Yeah.
And Melina, who was extremely emotional.
Oh my goodness.
That she was in the bottom. I was sad that Paula was in the bottom. We had got to hear an incredible story of hers in the workroom. And once again, like, honestly, shout out to both Brazil and France this week for having incredible workroom conversations. They lip synced against each other, and ultimately Melina like really slayed this lip sync.
Yeah.
So Melina ended up staying, and unfortunately Poala sashayed away.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous, gorgeous girl though.
Gorgeous, but it's time for her to go. It was surprising only because that was such a high fashion look that she left on.
I know.
I'm like, usually I'm used to seeing not such amazing looks when you're sashaying away, but
well,
it'll happen.
Yeah, the beauty was not her problem for sure.
No, not at all.
Okay. Jordan, who is your sip of the week this week?
My sip is going to go to our winner, Poseidon Drag, for doing Xuxa, because I was really hoping somebody would.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to sip Ruby Knox this week because she was our lifeline in her unfortunate girl group. And then I loved her Carmen Miranda look. Sips. And I think we have the same spit this week. And that is Desiree Black. This was kind of an all over the place challenge for her. All right, y'all. Now it's time to get into Drag Race France All-Stars Episode 3. It was the Golden Snatch Game on Episode 3 of Drag Race France.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about this Snatch Game, Jordan? Because we ultimately just got literally right into Snatch Game.
That was crazy. I'm getting very much that all international seasons, they're going to have different formats to appease different audiences with different tastes, different sensibilities. It makes total sense. But I just wasn't expecting that we were going to go from talking about the Snatch Game right into the Snatch Game. That was crazy.
It was crazy. There was a little bit of a different format, too. They did it like Family Feud style.
I liked that twist. I like that they always are trying to do a little bit of a spin on even on their own properties. I also thought it was good having those guest judges as the team captains during this Family Feud Snatch Game. This was not too bad.
The Snatch Game, I think it was fine. There were definitely a few folks like Big Bertha and Misty who were really standing out.
Yeah.
But then we did have a couple of stinkers. You know, our bottom girls ended up being Soa and Cam.
Yeah.
And then we did have a lot of people kind of fall in the middle. I don't know that this Snatch Game was a super big hit for me.
No.
But I definitely think that a few people had good moments.
I think it's another one where I really enjoyed it, but I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had more cultural knowledge, which is not on anybody except me.
Now, I really loved the runway on France, though.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
The runway was called All Blown Up, and the queens literally had to have an inflatable object on their runway look built into their look. And this is definitely a runway category that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But it honestly makes so much sense. We see people try to do inflatable stuff from time to time. So I'm actually obsessed that they came up with this. And I think we saw some amazing looks.
I'm hoping this goes over well enough that maybe they'll try this category out in a few other franchises, because it was a good one.
First up was Moon, giving you Alexander McQueen, but also giving you a beautiful, just emotion-evoking runway of a mother storyline where her belly was the inflatable piece.
Yeah, that was incredible. And we'd gotten a lot of story in this episode surrounding it, and I thought that was so beautiful.
I love that Nikki took the time to pull her up first during judging and literally just talk about this look. She let Moon share her story on stage, which was super powerful.
Yeah.
She's just such a beautiful, open and sharing person. And this was just it was lovely. Now, after Moon, we had Soa de Muse, and Soa had a green and pink look made out of recycled and upcycled inflatable pieces. And then on the back of Soa's look, it was like the butt region, a heart on the back that did the inflating.
Or was supposed to. I don't think it worked entirely.
I think it did. It just
maybe it didn't show as much as they expected.
Yeah, I know Soa talked about how this is like an up-and-coming designer, and they talked about the designer quite frequently and everything. I think, they didn't want to hurt the designer's feelings or anything.
Of course.
Because, it was a great look, but everybody else came with just much bigger scaled items and much more noticeable inflatables, because this look was actually awesome.
I just really felt like it needed to be bigger. I just feel like something to push this a little bit further. Or there was already an alligator thing going on. Maybe they could have had an inflatable alligator draping over their shoulder. Something.
Yeah, just something to make it bigger and more noticeable, I think would have been helpful. Next up was Misty Phoenix, and she gave Popeye, complete with the spinach can. She eats the spinach and bam, she's got her Popeye muscles.
Oh my God, this was so good. It was so cartoony.
I loved it. So camp.
She looked so beautiful while doing it. Honestly, she came out and I said, oh my God, it's Sasha Velour. Both, like, how she looked and concept-wise, I'm like, this is just Sasha Velour.
Okay, and high key, though, Sasha Velour is, like, ripped. Like, she does have a lot of muscles.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love this look.
Oh,
honestly, it was so smart. I feel like this was kind of like the perfect Drag Race look in a way, because it's funny, but also in its own way glamorous. It's a reference everybody knows. It's clever. I just thought it was amazing.
She absolutely deserved the win. I was so glad that she got it because I was geeking over this look.
Misty was one of our tops of the week, and she won the lip sync. She's our winner of Snatch Game. Next up on the runway was Big Bertha, and she started out doing a self-reference to a dress that she wore that it was not good and Daphne hated from her original season. And then she revealed to a cheetah-inspired dress and had a big, like, flower-esque inflatable.
I do not understand the desire to gravitate towards a look that sent you home, or at least got you in trouble.
I don't mind that she did a self-reference because Drag Race is in itself a self-reference.
True.
However, I just didn't understand the transformation or like the connection between one look to the other. I just thought it was kind of a disjointed way to do this runway.
I could agree with.
Next up was Elips, and she did a coral look. So she started out in a purple bodysuit, and then coral came up out of this bodysuit. She did that to bring awareness of, you know, for the coral reefs out there.
Yeah, they're dying and going away, and it's really sad.
Yeah, I love the message behind this, and I think like the inflatable part paid off. I kind of would have liked to see this a bit more. I thought it was still a bit simple. Next up is Mami Watta, and she was giving you like a blow-up BDSM look, but also high fashion because it had like a skirt piece and all this cool stuff to it.
It was brilliant because she didn't even need to say 1960s housewife as well. You could see it. How was she 1960s housewife that was BDSM and made out of latex? It was incredible.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought this whole look was so smart. It was high fashion. When she came out, it was like, oh my gosh. I just thought it was really cool. Next up is Punani, and she was also our other top of the week. And she came out with a dress where the flowers started out dead, but then they inflated and became alive.
No, it was very, very beautiful to watch, honestly. And like the judges commented on the artistry of the flowers themselves. It was very delicate.
Which she made all herself.
Incredible. Just amazing.
I loved this look. And I was actually so happy that this was a good episode for Punani because really she hasn't been standing out that much to me so far this season. And honestly, I haven't really liked her runways a lot this season either, but she really killed it this episode, and I loved this dress. I thought it was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous. She definitely deserved to be in the top.
Next up was Cam, and Cam gave you this amazing, incredible BDSM Sailor Moon look.
It was so good. I hate that she ended up in the bottom. Her Snatch Game was really bad.
It was really bad.
It was really bad.
But yeah, this look was amazing. And Nikki straight up was like, I'm mad at you. I was literally going to do this look, and now I can't do it.
And I love that.
I mean, if you're going to be in the bottom, though, be in the bottom in this freaking look.
How is this a bottom look?
I know, but we have to remember that the Snatch Game happened, too.
The Snatch Game did happen.
Last up on the runway was Piche. Now, y'all, I'm just going to be real. I know Piche's storyline was based off of, I think, some sort of folklore story. Because I had no idea what was happening. And then in the back, on her book bag or whatever that was, the pack with the rock that inflated, it was Vespi, but then the thing didn't even inflate right.
It didn't inflate all the way, so we couldn't really tell. I thought it was actually a picture of her.
Yeah, you literally couldn't even see the face. She had to tell us it was Vespi.
Yeah, and I was like, I still didn't really get what was happening.
Yeah, so I know the judges were proud of her and they loved the look and it was very camp.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it was extremely camp.
It was.
It was. So it was interesting.
That dance was extremely funny. I'm glad the judges called that out and kind of had them do it again because that was extremely funny.
Now, like we said, the top two were Misty and Punani. They lip synced and Misty shut it down. Not surprised.
Just such raw talent.
Now, Misty had an extremely hard choice. I mean, literally, two of the faves, honestly, of the season, Soa and Cam Hugh. Such a hard decision, but ultimately chose to let Soa go home. Now, Jordan, who is your sip of the week for All Stars France?
It's got to go to Misty. I know I'm just sipping winners. I'm sorry, but I'm sipping winners today.
I love that. Sip for Misty. I am gonna sip Moon, and Moon's runway specifically. It was just so beautiful. It made me like weep for her. Yeah. Honestly, it was so stunning, and I'm really glad that Nikki took the time to talk about it and let Moon talk about it. And Jordan, who are you gonna spit this week?
This week I'm gonna spit Pitui. I'm gonna spit Piche. I was not feeling that runway look. It was too many references that didn't fully make sense, and then the thing didn't even inflate all the way, so it just like, I don't understand what I was supposed to get out of that.
Yeah.
And then the super nanny in the Snatch Game felt, I don't know, just felt uncomfortable. Even Gnome was saying that they felt a little uncomfortable with the way they were portraying the character physically.
Even though the person I'm spitting did really well in the Snatch Game, I'm actually going to spit Big Bertha's runway look because I just didn't understand the thorough line of the reveal, and I just honestly wasn't super impressed with the inflatable portion of that. Jordan, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm so glad I finally made it. I hate that I missed the first 2 episodes, but I made it.
Yes. And I can't wait to watch more of these seasons. These are really, really good. I'm having so much fun.
I am overall. Too. It's been really great.
All right, y'all. We will see you next week. Take care of yourself, divas.
Bye.
Bye.